It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode number 104 for Sunday, August 24th, 2008. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call, what is your favorite intro to a game? And joining us this evening is Keith.
Hands down, Dawn of War. You know, it's got orcs killing humans, and then it has humans like getting reinforcements because they're too weak to fight the orcs on their own. What more do you need than orcs slaughtering people?
Yeah, that one is really good. I forgot about that one. Might have to change my answer to that one.
You're not allowed.
Actually, he never gave an answer yet, so technically he hasn't changed a thing.
I'll give the answer I was going to give, and then I'll
Then you'll
retort
change it.
and change it.
And also joining us, although we probably know his answer already, but we'll see what he says, is Phil.
My first answer was going to be the cutscene for Hellgate London, which was actually a really good cutscene. And then Keith mentioned Dawn of War, which was pretty good. I mean, just tons of action, lots of things getting slaughtered and shot.
That was the problem with the Hellgate London cutscenes, was those were done very well.
Deceiving.
Yeah, the rest of the whole story was pretty not as well.
That could be next week's question. What cutscene misled you the most for a game?
And finally joining us, and hopefully he's figured out an answer.
No.
You've played lots of games here, Ivan.
And I can't think of a single opening scene.
He's probably like me, where he just keeps hitting escape or space or clicking until the stupid cinematics go away.
I love watching the cinematics at the start of every game. Absolutely love it. I'm usually pretty disappointed when I start a game and there's no cool little movie cutscene at the beginning of the game for me to watch.
Is World of Warcraft any good?
Actually, the Burning Crusade one's pretty good because you get the Blood Elf fight.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. World of Warcraft.
And mine, I'll have to go with the opening cutscene music intro to the Soul Blade on the PlayStation. It's probably one of the best intros to a fighting game I've seen.
Soul Calibur's was pretty weak, I remember that.
Yeah, everything after Soul Blade, they were all very weak. Here it is, and I'll put a YouTube link in the show notes.
It's like a bad 80s sitcom intro.
Well, yeah. That's why it's so great.
Those Japanese sure do love their 80s music, man.
This week on the GamerCast Network. Dennis Dyack's banned from NeoGAF, and Banjo-Kazooie is only $40? It's all about controversy on this week's Uncle Gamer Radio. On the Sarcastic Gamer PlayStation podcast, piracy plagues the PSP. Could it be setting its sights on the PS3? Tune in to Gamertag Radio to find out the latest news on all things Xbox. Tune into the Post-Game Report to get all the facts. Post-game. On Sarcastic Gamer, the crew is gearing up for PAX. And what is Braid Brain? Discover the podcast community that brings you all these great podcasts and more. GamerCastNetwork.com.
Next topic.
This is going to be a slightly shorter show this week because your editor here is leaving for PAX on Thursday, and he needs time this week to get ready for everything, so he can leave on Thursday on time and be out to PAX. Okay, so we're all going to be at PAX, and we're going to be doing our 2-year anniversary show from there with everybody, hopefully. It'll be good.
Damn well better be.
Oh, we'll most likely be drunk, too. I picked up Rocco's camcorder.
So we'll have video. I don't know why anybody wants to see video of us.
Have you ever seen Bob drunk? Definitely is newsworthy.
I've never seen Bob drunk.
It's funny.
I'm sure Godfrey's going to be shooting and streaming lots of video from PAX, so keep an eye out on GamerCast Network and Gamertag Radio.
On the GamerCast Network site, we'll of course have lots of pictures, video, audio, etc., etc., etc.
You ran out of medias.
And speaking of media, all the GamerCast Network show hosts are going to be on a panel talking about podcasting as a new form of media on Sunday. So if any of our listeners out there are at PAX, swing by the panel and ask us some questions.
Do you know where and when?
According to this schedule, 10 a.m. in the Walrus Theater. Yeah, get there early because those rooms fill up quick.
I am the Eggman. Cuckoo, choo. Gonna watch a thing in the Walrus room. Yeah.
Was that an attempt at a Beatles song?
No, I was actually not even really saying it loud because it was more to myself than anything. But, you know, hey.
On August 29th, 2008, the GamerCast Network descends upon Seattle, Washington for PAX. Tune in for non-stop coverage from the best in independent podcasting. And don't forget about the GCN Roundtable on Sunday, August 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific.
GamerCastNetwork.com.
Next topic.
So up first is Too Human for the Xbox 360. So, Keith, over the last week, you've been playing it, right?
I played it a couple hours by myself and a couple hours with Chris.
Okay, so you can speak to as much as you've played. And do you know how far in the game you are, at least?
Oh, I'm not that far.
I'm not that far.
Because I've been trying all the different classes. I played like an hour and a half with the bioengineer. I played like an hour with a champion. I played like an hour with a defender. I've really just kind of played that whole little first part a bunch of times with different guys.
But first off, I hear it isn't actually a very long game. But those are the kind of games you go back and play over and over again, usually.
Yeah, because it's Diablo-like in the sense that you would go back and get your loot and play on the different difficulties and that kind of thing. The game is, I think, very, very fun. I'm going to say all the bad things first. The controls, I think it would be better if they had it with buttons that attack instead of right stick that attack.
So now you're basically pointing in the direction of the guy you want to hit.
Yeah, and the thing that I kind of constantly am doing wrong is because if you push the right stick in a direction, you will pull out your weapon and swing. You have to hold down the right trigger to start shooting, and then you aim with the right stick. So I'm constantly meaning to shoot, and I just kind of stand in place and swing my hammer. And I don't like the camera. It doesn't really chase you. It's not much of a chasing cam. When you try to go around a corner, you just see a lot of wall and hear things hitting you, but you don't actually see them until you straighten out the camera. Beyond that, the loot is very Diablo-like. The boards very much it just very, very much reminds me of Diablo.
Now, the boards, they're all constant, right? There's no, randomization of boards here.
No. From what I've encountered, playing through the first board 5 times, it's all the same. It's, again, not as good as it could have been. I mean, this was a game that when they announced it, I was like, oh, sweet, this is going to be awesome. It wasn't as big of a letdown as Hellgate London. I would give it probably like an 85. I had a lot of fun with it. Chris and I are having a lot of fun with it when we were playing together.
Yeah, how is the online portion of it? Because I know that was supposed to be 4 players, but they cut it down to 2.
Actually, it works very well. And I don't know if it just happens to be the classes that Chris and I were playing. I was the bioengineer, healer, support type guy, and he was... One time he was a champion, and the other time he was a defender. And they just work very, very well together. I don't think it's as bad as people have been bashing it to be. The only thing I could think of is just they were expecting it to be better. If it was 4 players, it would be a lot better.
Okay, here's the question. So far from what you've experienced, I know you guys played a lot of Diablo, replayed and played and played and played. Could you see yourselves doing that with this game?
Yes and no. Yes, the game is fun enough for me to want to do that. No, because it's not 4 players. Because I really like Crackdown too. I thought that was a great game, but it's kind of got swept under the rug because it's only 2-player.
Although probably this is a good holdover for the moment for right now until Diablo 3 or something else.
It is a good holdover, yes. I enjoy it. I think it's a good game. People that were saying the demo really doesn't give you much of a feel, the demo gives you a good feel. If you like the demo, you'll like the game. If you find the demo annoying and you just can't stand it, you're not going to like the game. It's pretty much an accurate representation of what the game is.
Next topic.
Ivan, did you want to talk about the demo for the upcoming Star Wars Force Unleashed game, which is going to be out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, etc., etc., etc.?
The Wii, the DS.
Yeah, it's LucasArts.
They pour themselves to every platform.
So what do you think of the demo there, Ivan?
It's fantastic. LucasArts, or Lucas, doesn't have a lot of love for the bad guys as far as games go. Most of the time you're the good guys or something like that. This game, the premise is you are Darth Vader's secret apprentice. He doesn't want the Emperor to know.
Wait a minute. Isn't there a game called TIE Fighter?
Yeah, but you're not...
Dark Forces? Aren't you bad guys in that one too? You can be?
All of the Knights of the Old Republic, except you're not serving Darth Vader per se.
Yeah, and even the Jedi Knight ones, you can do bad things, but this one is just blatantly, your job is to just F with everybody and just kill and murder and rampage through the entire universe. Darth Vader sends you out on missions and says, and this is a secret and no one can know, so make sure everything that moves is dead. It's just a lot of fun. It's another game where you don't start off as a weakling and kind of build your powers up. You start off as almost a full-fledged Jedi Master, strong enough that you can manipulate TIE fighters and throw them around the room and stuff like that. So,
but they're also putting in a leveling system? Because I noticed you level once in the game.
Yeah, you can level up, but you start off with all of the powers instead of learning them. Pretty much the game is just kind of, so at least the demo was go in and just slaughter everything, and then you're done.
Kill with impunity. My kind of game. Very orcish.
The weird kind of thing, though, is that even though you start off in this demo and you can move TIE fighters and literally throw them around like they're playthings, the demo ends with you having to attack a ATST, and instead of picking it up and throwing it aside like it was nothing, you kind of have to attack it. So you have to throw some stuff at it until it weakens, and then you just kind of run up to it and slice it in half. If you watch the ending, where they kind of show you more stuff about the game, towards the end, he's actually manipulating a Star Destroyer by kind of making it crash. So, I mean, if this guy can move a Star Destroyer, you'd think it would be no problem to huck a ATST out of the way.
If he could move a Star Destroyer, I don't like that. That's like too much.
Well, he doesn't pick it up and throw it, but in the video you kind of see him with his hands out and the Star Destroyer kind of coming at the camera, and he just kind of pushes both of his hands down, and you see the Star Destroyer nose start to head down like it's going to crash instead. And who knows, that could be the very end of the game where this guy has surpassed the Emperor in his powers or something like that. You never know.
He can't do that. You can't surpass the Emperor.
Somebody has surpassed the Emperor, because the Emperor dies at the end of episode 6.
It's not so much as he was surpassed, it just shows that melee combat trumps all. That's all it really proves.
Ranged attack, ranged attack, ranged attack. Okay, how about I just pick you up and throw you in the pit?
Yeah, that's right. Force this. Melee for the win.
I played the demo as well, and it actually is a very fun demo. I highly recommend playing it. If you liked all the old Dark Forces, those games, you'll like Force Unleashed.
If you like Keith does, where you just cause chaos and anarchy everywhere you go by just destroying everything, because there's no good path, bad path where you have to decide, and if you want to be a good Jedi, you don't kill the good guys.
It's just bad path.
Yeah, it's all bad path, and the more havoc you wreak, the better you do. Oh, the other cool thing is when you come up to doors, there's doors that you can't open with like a switch or anything, so you use this force push to just kind of pound the doors open. Chad mentioned you can level up your powers. You level up your force push at one point so that you can hold the button down and kind of charge it, and if you do that in front of a door, you charge it and then you let it go and the doors just kind of blow open, and then you see like stormtroopers inside and they're like, oh my god, they start running around all freaking out. It does a very good job of making you feel like a badass evil Jedi.
It's very orcish without the orc. I like this.
It is. Man. It is an orc game with a Jedi instead of an orc. An orc with Jedi powers.
Now that would just be the greatest game ever. That's too good.
Next topic.
Ninja Gaiden contest. Gaiden, whatever.
I like the way you say it. It sounds more authentic.
I have no idea if I'm even saying it right. So this was the contest where we had people tell us what they learned from a game. The first place winner, well, I had thought they would just want Ninja Gaiden 2. It's their choice. We actually are also giving away the Bourne Conspiracy.
You want Ninja Gaiden 2. Trust us, you want Ninja Gaiden 2.
Unless you already have it.
You still want Ninja Gaiden 2.
No, you're saying it's like it's a bad thing. The winner has the choice of which one he wants. So, the first place winner is Lucifer's Jello. He sent a note with a couple of things he learned. First, when someone in Call of Duty 4 says, "Look out behind you," everyone in your team will turn around and unload a clip regardless of what's there. That was good, but this one was better. Whenever I am killed, I am a noob. My mother is a whore. My sister is retarded. And the poner is my dad, even though he sounds like he's 4. And Ivan, you have the runner-up.
Darth Vicious 82 had a decent one. Yeah, if it doesn't work, just blow in it and wiggle it back and forth until it does.
And a lot of the younger gamers probably aren't going to fully appreciate that one. But if you ever had a Nintendo Entertainment System, you can relate. And it really does fix everything.
And that was Video Game Show episode number 104 for Sunday, August 24th, 2008. The short episode in preparation for PAX. And any ham sandwiches or Shattered Dream pies to give to the world peoples.
Ham sandwich to the Olympics. They're actually entertaining.
Are you joking or are you serious?
No, I'm serious. We watched a lot of the swimming and a lot of the track and field and some of the basketball games. And
I thought the Olympics were pretty much for sports that no one cared about.
Some of the sports weren't bad. I mean, I have a lot of the other stations that they showed on, and I watched like the female weightlifters competition. That was fun.
Hot.
You know what I'm talking about.
there were some things that were good. Like I remember watching during lunch one day, they had the kayaking, and there was some guy from the country of Togo. He won the first Olympic medal for their country, like ever.
I'm looking up Togo right now because I don't know where it is. Yep, there it is.
Is Azeroth a larger country than Togo?
Togo has 5.7 million.
So yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it is. Okay, some final quick reminders. First up, the GamerCast Network Gaming Nights. You can get all the details on the GamerCast Network forums at gamercastnetwork.com/forums. Don't forget about the iPod Touch giveaway from our MP3 host Libsyn. To enter, just fill out our listener survey. I'll put a link in the show notes. And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, concerns, or roll call question to the mailbag at mailbag@videogameshow.org. Skype us at videogameshow or call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long distance call and all normal fees apply. And that's a wrap. Good night.
For when we make Keith drink lots of alcohol and make him wear leather and he dies, we'll need a
I was
replacement.
about to say, dude, what are you trying to kill me? But apparently you were. So,
We'll force him shots of tequila while wearing leather coats and hats.
it doesn't sound like a good time at all for me, man.
Not for you, but for everyone else involved. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, but I've already made
So-
a blood pact with myself that when the time comes for me to go out, I'm taking as many people as I can with me.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you loaded on tequila wearing a leather coat, and then you have to try and punch Tom in the chest.
Sure, works for me.
Okay.